I was born in Milan in 1936. Only one brother, the two of us. Mom and dad were just ordinary workers, and during the war we lost the house, and we went to live for a couple of years outside Milan, where there was a relative accommodating us, and we came back in 45, where my father has introduced me to the Salesian Oratory in Milan. It was not very far, only kilometers away from us. Mom was working in the house. Dad instead he found, after many attempts to find a job, he found a job in the Pirelli, the big industry in Milan, rubber industry. With his salary was able to feed us and send us to school. We never had, as a family, any big ambitions. We couldn't afford it because there was no financial support, and we learned already at an early age to live with what is only the necessary without anything. Even though we were in a big city, Mom used to tell us, you see, how beautiful things are, we like them, but we cannot have them. So our enjoyment was only to have a look at them. That's all. And it's a normal family. Used to frequent the parish. Even my father used to frequent the same oratory with the other fathers. After the mass, they used to go and share in the room of the oratory, when they can play cards and drink coffee or wine. We used to come back with them. And Mom is always at home, looking after the house, preparing meals for us.
So how did this vocation to religious life began?
Exactly to pinpoint down a time where I started thinking of the mission, I found it difficult. I know I grew up in the Catholic Action, which at that time was very strong movement in Italy, also in Milan. And I'm happy that you asked me this question, because when I was 16, 17, I entered into a group of the Catholic Action, a very small group called the Cenacolini, where Bishop Montini started, some kind of committed youth in the Catholic Action, which reflecting now introduction to religious life. We used to receive a page with every day we used to tick Mass, Holy Communion, meditation, Rosary, a good action for the day. At the end of the month, when we had a meeting, the group of us, he was addressing us and giving input for our own spiritual support. But on the other hand, in the oratory, there where I met and grew up with a man that is a Salesian cooperator, died in Brazil, and is venerable now. Is Attilio Giordani. He used to animate the oratory, the parish, with that spirit of adventure, going out, happiness, real Salesian spirit. And that, I think, rather than to think what kind of future shall I have, I think I have absorbed those things. And for me, it was only natural to live the rest of my life like that. I joined the Salesian was in '56 when I did mention this fact to my brother, 3 years older than myself. He said, yes, you go, you are younger, you can do the study better than myself. I look after mom and dad. So I mentioned that to my spiritual director, Monsignor Peter Laiolo, a Salesian parish priest, there in our own parish. He sent me to Ivrea, Cardinal Cagliero Missionary College, where the late vocations they were collected. We find ourselves to be roughly 15, 20 of us coming from all northern Italy. After this decision with my brother, we had to work because we didn't have the house. We always stay with the grandmother, with an auntie, shifting from house to house. We didn't have a flat, one small room. We were 5 of us because our grandmother's always been with us. Until we were 3 of us were working, Dad, my brother and myself. We raised enough money to go into this popular building for the workers made by the municipality of Milan. And we were contributing every month so much, and after 10 years that was our own flat. From Cardinal Cagliero onwards, there was a time where Australia was thinking of having the novitiate of its own as a province. Before, I believe they used to go to India or England or something like that with not much success. But in 1960, the 3 of us were destined to Australia. We started off 3 Italian and there was one English, one Dutch, and the others, they were all Australian, 5, in Oakley, in Melbourne. We started our own novitiate, and from that onwards, I always asked my superior that in my ignorance and the view of the mission was not only the mission, the vocation, but also that the environment to me meant a lot. Then where we were in Melbourne was better than to be in Milan at that time. So I asked to go to India, but there was some political relationship, I think, between India and Australia at that time. It was not conducive to send people there. Also because we had 2 brothers in India studying philosophy, and we lost them, both of them.
Lost in the sense?
They left the congregation. So when in '78 this African project came up with Father Vigano.
But up to what level So you went to Australia for novitiate, then
I did a
afterward-
novitiate there, philosophy there, practical training there. We studied the teaching training college. I came after they sent me back to Italy for theology in Messina. After Messina, I went back, and in I think in '79, when the OK came, Father Wally Cornell is the first Australian provincial, said, Ernie, this is your chance. Do you want to go? I never query, it's not in my character to query superiors. So I said, okay. He told me, you go to Rome to Father Tohill. He tell you where to go.
So you worked in Australia as a priest?
Yes, 6 years from my ordination in '73 to '79. I was in Rupert's Wood, Sunbury, just outside 30 or 40 kilometers outside Melbourne. In '78, this calling one Salesian for each province should contribute to Project Africa. And Father Wally Cornell asked me, you always wanted to go to the mission, now he had the chance. So he sent me to Tohill in Rome. He told me, you go to Sudan. But to go to Sudan, we start our...
Which year?
I think late '79, something like '79. I went to Cairo to get the visa, but I learned already that to get the visa for Sudan wasn't easy. Nearly every day I used to go to the Sudanese embassy in Cairo, but no way of getting the visa until I heard from two Comboni fathers that in Nairobi you get the visa easily. So with them came to Nairobi. In 3 days we got our visa for Sudan as businessmen. And there I reached Juba. I was taken to Maridi. That was our first stop.
Remember the year?
I think early '80s, something like that. I don't remember exactly. Where there I found James Pulikal from India. He came with some kind of a diplomatic passport or visa, easy for him to get in. After him, what is his name? Godfrey de Souza, Lawrence de Souza came, and after another one, Jacob, I don't know the name, an elderly person as a rector, but he didn't meet good luck because the weather, raining, in Maridi, he was suffering of arthritis. He had to leave, poor man, he suffered a lot. And we began in Maridi. The only thing in Maridi, our own style of working and vision to develop our mission in Maridi didn't go down well with the local bishop who lived among the people in Maridi in a hut not very far from the main church. We began with Godfrey, we began fixing up the church, and James and I, we were going to the schools, teaching, and start to plan where our house community could be, because we were staying behind the church, I think some kind of, I don't know, was a corridor or something like that. We made partition and we would stay there. And but in the meanwhile, this not animosity, but this difference of vision of work or type of work with the bishop grew a lot until I think it was March '82, something like that. We were asked to leave. He was used to the Comboni's style of work in the mission, bring things here, trucks and all sorts of stuff, and work for him. We had a coffee plantation. He wanted Godfrey to go and bring coffee back for him, going to the market for him, which we always said we are here with a project in our own hands that comes from our own superiors in Rome, and we follow that. He was probably resented that or something, I don't know. Said, I am the boss here, you do what I want. Instead, Godfrey and James, they're always trying to say, yes, you are the boss, but we follow what Rome tells us to do. Until he sent us out. Father, when the day that we went out, Lawrence and myself, we were involved in this car accident. We were traveling with an open Land Cruiser of the Nile Safari. The front wheel burst out and we were thrown out, and I got the worst of it. Cut my head. Lawrence found himself in the bush. Then James stayed another week behind, trying to find a way to make the people, the bishop understand that we came from Maridi to help the Maridi people. The only thing that Salesian way of working is this, with the youth, some activities, schooling, something like that, and not being truck drivers, coffee businessmen or something like that. But after a week or so, he left. I heard he took a bus, went to Uganda, from Uganda went to India. And we met once again in September '82 in Juba, James and myself. By that time, Juba has received already 2 or 3 Salesians to start off another Salesian presence there. There was passed away. There was Brother Francis, Brother Gabriel on the printing press. Instead, James and myself again together, we were sent to Tonge. In Tonge we began working. We were alone, a place where they didn't see a priest or a missionary for 24 years. When the Comboni were expelled in 1964, they were only glad to see us there, and we began over there to work with the youth, giving mass down at the back of the police station, an old church, and going around as usual missionary work, teaching, catechizing, baptizing, burying the dead, until '83 this civil war blew up and things became again a little bit difficult for us in movement, safety, but Luc van Looy wrote to me, say, look, if you don't feel safe, by all means come out. But if you don't have problem, you feel, stay there, because the Salesians want to have a presence in Sudan. So I stayed on. From that on, we had to leave because James Pulikal was kidnapped by the SPLA while I was in marketing in Wow with the truck. We left because I was left on my own. James was taken by the SPLA in the bush walk because he refused to let him go through the mission to get the airport in Tonj. When I was returning from Wow, the police and the army stopped me at the bridge before crossing the river. Said, no, you don't go to Tonj today. I asked why. I said, go to your bishop, he will tell you why. So I went back to the bishop. He told me that the mission was taken over. James was taken and there was nobody there. So I went back, tried to collect whatever I could, and the bishop was very kind. Bishop Joseph Nyikindi offered me to start off something in Wow. I think it was around 84, 85, something like that.
So after James was taken, you went back to collect the things to Tonj?
We had everything there, books, the baptism records, and all these things, you know. Some of these items, I found them in the houses of the people, somebody in the market.
That was after James was taken?
Yes, after James was taken, yes. We start our presence in Wow, and meanwhile Salesian sisters came, 5 of them, I think, from India also, except one from England, and we start, we change 3 very old workshop of the Combonis that left years ago. We met in classrooms. After we added little by little staff room, a bit of a library section, the rector's office, some resemblance of a school. That was, I remember, Sister Teresa Malakalayat. He came in 85, I think, the first group. In 85, we were 55, 60 students, intermediate, all in English. Because the main thing was that all the schools were run in Arabic, English only a subject. Instead, we insisted, and with the support of the bishop and the parents of the students, we do all in English, Arabic only a subject. We got the permission, and that was our luck, the luck of the students of this John Paul II intermediate school in Wow. And we carry on. We took teachers from Uganda, teachers, local teachers, all with teaching in English. And after one Jesuit, one Comboni sisters, we began developing. Few years, from 50, 55, we went out to 300, 350. And that was because from that little school that we started, well, now we see we had Salesian vocation. Sister Betty is one, Charles Taban another one, James Wall another one. We could have others, but have left sometime after the novitiate, sometime after the practical training. But that is some little fruit from that school. And after from WOW, I was being shifted to the north, because at that time Sudan was one country. I went to Khartoum, because over there they needed people. People were not staying all the time. Since I have learned Arabic, colloquial Arabic down the south, so used to send me up north. So I began Khartoum, WOW, Khartoum, WOW, Khartoum, WOW, because of the needs of the delegation at that particular time. So I don't know. In Khartoum, as you said, it was. It wasn't always in a long stretch, only 2-3 years, and after go down south. 1 year in the south, 2 or 3 years again over there. But the only thing, I always stayed in Khartoum. I obeyed always somebody else's. And in Khartoum there we have the VTC, the parish. Mainly our activity was that. It's sad to say that my sending over there is because some of the Salesians didn't want to go to the north. Some openly also they didn't want, because they didn't want to educate our enemies, the Muslims. They are lovely people themselves. When we went away after the division 2011, we used to have what's his name? This Christmas pageant for all the school. Santa come dressed up and give gifts to everybody. When we went away, they retained that. They call it Baba Christmas.
So you were between different houses after that?
Yes, mainly WOW and Khartoum, WOW, Khartoum, WOW, Khartoum. Yeah. Until they called me down here, because the resident confessor he went to Italy. I don't know for what reason, didn't come back. So they needed a resident confessor and spiritual director in such a formation house. So they asked me, you come down. They pressurized me a little bit, kindly, gently. I said, okay.
So what was, if you have to say, one of your most beautiful experience in the African mission, what would you say?
Meeting the people, African people, that they are so simple, that they fit in my way of understanding people. They are not sophisticated, demanding. At least the people that I met, simple, happy with little. They cooperate as much as they can, and accept what you offer them on the way of spiritual direction, the way of education, and the way also helping what we could collect for their maintenance of the family when there was scarcity of food and things like that. I found that very, to me at least, very, very good. The people, and the environment. You feel yourself. I found myself a simplicity of life, humility of work, no fancy stuff. To build, create, to become a businessman, so, but just working with the people, with the boys, do normal things that they do, living the way they live. I think that is the best.
And what would be maybe one or two challenges that you faced there? One of the difficult moments?
Well, when I was left on my own.
Where?
In Wow.
When? And
Wow, and sometimes also in Khartoum, because people, they were not coming. So I was there by myself trying to do everything. Running the house, running the school, running the parish. Also that with the help of God I managed. We didn't do anything startling, but good enough for people to be happy and getting along. I always had help from people, but never had a big, I don't know, say crisis or anything like that. Been alone, socializing, living by myself. Could be my character. I always brought up with next to nothing. I used to have only the necessary, as I said before. So to me it was carry on the way I started. And that's it.
So Father, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to mention about your African mission experience?
I don't know. There are some Salesians that are inviting me, especially those in Maridi, and wow, go back to see the old place, how it developed, how it was going on, and to meet the old friends. Now they got their own family, to go and see Taban, Sister Betty, Sister Juliet. They grow up, and something that we contribute to their life, and to see and to go and visit the cemetery in Loco Loco is not very far from Wow, 3 kilometers, where we build a church, and where we, during the war, every day we used to bury somebody. Over there there are missionary of old, sisters, fathers, combonis, and people that we work with. Sometime I wished to finish my life there, be buried there also.
Do you know Sister Grace and Sister Miriam?
Yes, Sister Miriam is one. She came to Tonj in '83, one of the 5 sisters. We work a lot together in Tonj, and after in Wow. Sister Gracie came late. Sister Miriam helped us a lot. For me in particular, when I used to have malaria every month, as she used to see me coming to the dispensary, she used to write already chloroquine or something for me. And Sister Grace, instead of one in agreement with Sister Miriam, they saved my life, because the doctor had given up everything. When I had malaria, typhoid, yellow fever, all this, Dr. Tommasoni used to tell me, Ernie, you like a and they didn't want to give me this hard drug for, I don't remember the name now, it's not chloroquine, it's something, quinine, because said in those conditions it's too much, it's too much. It's then Sister Grace is with Miriam, they decided we give it and finish. They gave to me. After a couple of days I began already to change, to feel better, to understand, see people. That is something that I always been grateful to Miriam and Gracie. They did a lot of job alongside our own work. They built also their own school, very close, 100 meters, 200 meters from our residence, the dispensary. And they used to have always a good cooperation from FMA and SDB, which I think is good. The people, they have this understanding of the Salesian charism, Salesian possibility, willingness to help anywhere, anybody. We wanted to have a lay brothers, well, we never got it, but Malish, that is the way it went. But there was, at least I enjoyed those years. I was there in South Sudan, and I didn't build anything, houses or something like that. Only that school, John Paul II, that we have rearranged workshop into classrooms. But we hope we have built some confidence, some faith of people to carry on and be a good Christians, and what we couldn't do, they were doing, they will keep on doing so far.
Thank you, Father Ernesto. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. I hope it makes sense what I said.